Hi guys, welcome to my coffee show. My name is Jack. I'm back from holidays full of energy, and today we are starting with a big one. Something that I promised you long time ago. Today we are going to compare DF83V, my favorite coffee grinder, with new MHW-3BOMBER F74 Navigator. First of all, big thank you to Joe from Espresso Outlet for sending me this DF83V. That's the version 1 of the grinder. I know there is a new version right now. I have no idea what are the differences. I will put the link to Espresso Outlet website in the description if you want to buy this grinder or any other coffee equipment you can think of. Especially if you are in US, have a look, check the website. It's always good to support a small business. Big thank you to MHW-3BOMBER for sending me this F74 Navigator. I will put the links in the description as well. You may find some discount code there if you want to use it. I may earn some small commission and you get the products a bit cheaper. What I'm planning to do today, obviously we will put those two grinders side by side. I will talk about performance, I will talk about workflow, I will talk about taste of coffee, espresso and Pourover. By the end I will give you a straight answer which of those two grinders I would choose and why. Not only that, but I will also answer one or maybe two bonus questions. So if you are as excited as myself, definitely click like, sit tight and enjoy. Both of those grinders are manufactured in China. MHW-3BOMBER, very prolific, lots of different equipments, most of that really good. DF grinders, depending where you are in the world, you may know them under different names. When you put them side by side, you notice obviously differences. DF83V, there is that slight angle, is slightly inclined. F74 Navigator, more compact design, more squarish design. Between those two I think it looks better, but obviously that's very subjective. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. In both of them the grind indicator is visible. In both of those grinders you can find the dial that you rotate at the front. Even with my poor eyesight I have no problem seeing the numbers there. Both grinders are stepless, but MHW-3BOMBER talks here about stepless steps, so you get 90 stepless steps. When you rotate that knob at the front you can feel the granularity. Both of those grinders come with magnetically attached caps. At some point my DF83V cap lost its magnet. It was at the bottom and it was just glued. I lost it. With F74 Navigator you won't have that issue. At the top of DF grinder you will find a blower. Some people like it, some people don't. Obviously you can take it off, you don't have to keep it on, but it helps to keep the retention on a low side. With F74 you don't get a blower. How would the retention look like? We will check, we will test that. Both grinders come with plasma generators. Remember to clean the bottom of the grinders, especially that F74. You get a brush included with the grinder. I've noticed if I don't keep it clean, eventually that plasma generator stops working or it works less. F74 pretty much has no shoot or very short shoot. Because of that, some of the coffee dust will end up outside of the cup. With DF83V the shoot is longer, so you won't have that issue, and it's also magnetically attached so you can easily clean it up afterwards. On the side of both of those grinders you will find some switches. I mean, there's only one switch knob on the side of F74 Navigator and you use it for everything. You use it to change RPMs between 800 and 1600. You use it to turn the grinder on and off, and you use it to change into some different smart modes. You can choose between fully manual mode like any other grinder. You can choose the mode where the grinder stops grinding when it detects there are no more beans left, and also you may choose the mode when at the end of grinding the grinder auto reverse the engine and then it stops. So that's the mode that I'm using all the time. With the F grinder you have two on-off switches, one main on-off switch, then the switch to start the grinder, and then on the other side you get a knob to regulate RPM between 300 and 1600. Here I prefer F74, that clean solution of just one knob that does everything. That's on the outside. What's inside? The F83V comes grinders with 83mm burrs. Those are DLC coated burrs, diamond-like carbon coating. You can also get the second pair of burrs for pour-overs, and to keep everything running you have a powerful 680 watts of power brushless DC motor. With F74 Navigator you find 74mm burrs designed for this grinder. So as far as I know, you won't find those burrs anywhere else. And what they say on the website, the cutting surface on those 74mm burrs is actually greater than on 83mm burrs by 12.5%. To run those burrs you have brushless DC motor, 400 watts of power. Now in terms of noise, without any coffee in, you can check DF83V, F74. Now we're going to put some coffee in, so that's on a 1600 RPMs. F74, you have that slightly unpleasant noise. And it takes about 9-ish seconds to grind that 20 grams of coffee. In terms of retention, I always like to tap the top of the grinder. On average, I'm getting 0.1, often 0 retention. The F83V, when I put the coffee in, there is some noise. But you notice one thing, it is incredibly fast. 4-5 seconds to grind that amount of coffee each time I use it, and I had it for years now. I cannot believe how fast, how powerful it is. In terms of retention, when I use the blower, I'm often getting 0.2 retention. Okay, I've been talking a lot, all the boring stuff. Now let's drink some coffee. We're going to start with Pourover. I'm going to use this coffee. If you are in London, if you are in UK, I would strongly recommend to check this roastery. All the funkiness in the world you can find in this coffee, very nice. I'm on a setting around number 50-ish on the F83V and around number 5 on F74. The F74, on average, the coffee bed looks a bit muddier. As the coffee bed indicates, the F74, it gives you more oomph, more body in your cup. And that could be a good thing for some. The bold flavors are there, but you are losing some of the details, some of the nuances in the cup. The F83V with those espresso burrs, the notes are cleaner, you get more crispiness in the cup, less of the body. You can look for those nuances, although often you end up with the kind of a bitter aftertaste. Neither of those cups is perfect. If I had to choose, most of the time I would choose the F83V. But as I always say, nobody cares about Pourover, especially when you buy those two grinders with those burrs, you buy them for espresso. So let's do espresso now. We're going to use this Horsham coffee roasters, very decent coffee roaster, so if you are in UK you may give them a go. Unfortunately, no coffee roasters want to send me any coffee for free, so I bought all of that with my own money. You will see those shots on the screen, you will see the extraction on the screen, but don't expect anything good looking. It was a very tricky coffee. That's my excuse for today. That's my excuse all the time. If something goes wrong, I always blame the coffee. Anyway, what you can expect from those two shots, what you can expect from those two grinders. With the F83V, expect some clarity, sharpness, crispiness, neat finish, and often what sometimes spoils the shot, often I get a bitter aftertaste. With F74, expect more body, expect more thickness to the shot, the texture more pleasant. You can also get some sharpness, but without that edge, with that edge taken off. You can also look for nuances, but they're not as obvious as in the F83V. But overall you get more melody. Often there is more sweetness, the notes they playing nicely together. Most of the time I'm going for F74 in terms of overall enjoyment, overall pleasantness in the shot. If you like those thicker shots, if you like more sweetness and more harmony in the shots, F74 would be your choice. If you like those punchy, sharp flavor notes, not necessarily playing nicely together, but clear, you would go for the F83V. V. Okay guys, if you are still here, definitely click like, consider subscribing to the channel, plenty more things coming. I'm still thinking about that comparison between Wendoji Data S and Decent and maybe a few other things. So DF83V or MHW-3BOMBER. For Pourover, I wouldn't choose any of them. Get a decent hand grinder and you can get a better results. For Espresso, I prefer F74. In my opinion, and I haven't tested all the grinders in the world, but this, I think, what you find in this grinder is the best set of standard burrs you can find in the average priced grinders. Maybe F74 is not a revolution, maybe it's not next generation, but it is an improvement of something that is already very good, and I'm talking here about the DF83V. I promise you some bonus answers, so here they are. Lots of you would ask, what about Timemore 78S? Well, I have a video comparing Timemore and DF83V. I will put the links in the description. There are differences in the workflow, and whichever works for you better, that would be the grinder you choose. But otherwise, whatever I say about DF83V versus F74, I would say about Timemore versus F74. Here we're coming to the main point of this video. I'm comparing today grinders with standard burrs, and with standard burrs, F74 is better. But if I put some maybe SSP multi-purpose or maybe SSP lap sweet burrs into DF83V, in terms of taste it becomes much better. I will give you one more bonus answer here. If you are on a budget and you don't care about those smart features, those RPMs and so on, but you still want great experience, DF64 Gen 2 with MP burrs, in terms of taste for Espresso and especially for Pourover, you get better overall cups using DF64 Gen 2. In the comments guys, I'm sure lots of you tried at least one of those grinders. I mentioned 4 altogether. What I'm saying here is just my own very subjective opinion. You may disagree. What is your favorite coffee grinder? Let us know in the comments. But for today, thank you very much for watching. My name is Jack, this is My Coffee Show, and hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you, bye!